EA Sports. It's in the game.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present second round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. So the action is underway, and we'll take you out now to our featured golfer here at number 1. Stepping up to the first tee, sights set on posting another low number here in round 2.
I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up, get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it.
Frank, what does the shot into this first green look like?
It's back a little bit up the hill. Bunkers left and right, really the biggest concern, but a well-flighted shot to this 3-leveled green will be well rewarded.
Frank, this one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it, send it. That just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
You'll need to be strong with this. And from the rough, he manages to not only make the green, but get within easy striking distance of the hole. Locked in on the read and the speed. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Trying to grind out a par here. Needs it. Frank, a par here, that's just fine. Frank, there's so many impressive holes here at Wolf Creek, but the second really stands out.
Yeah, that tee box is at 9 stories high. It's hard to imagine you can tee up that high, and obviously trying to judge distance is one thing, but also just the visual that you get. Well, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one.
safely on deck.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Well, you could see he thought he had that.
It looked in the whole way until the end.
That's good work right there. Just a tap in. Now a 7-footer. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Now on to the third, first of the short holes here at Wolf Creek. Uphill shot, Frank?
Yes, it's going to play a little longer because of that. Then it's 227 yards off the back tee. Hard to imagine you have a par 3 in amongst this desert. And really, that's all it is. Tee and green. There's not much in between. Well protected, as you can see, by those bunkers. And this green a little smaller than what you'd like for a hole that's around that 230-yard mark. Well, that was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Down, little Sheba. Down! Either misjudged the win or simply just pulled the wrong club, Frank.
Going to take some skill now.
Frank, this is where the mental game really comes into play. You've hit a second consecutive shot into the rough.
This could pound very, very quickly, so now's a chance to just take a little breath, take a breather, and try to make sure this shot certainly gets out.
Bad news is, that's a bogey. The good news, still tied for the lead.
He's the only one disappointed. The rest of the field aren't. Made it a real cat fight.
Back over now to the fourth. This has not been pretty so far in the second round. Frank, what are you seeing?
Ball's just going everywhere, out of control, really. A lot of poor decisions. So right now, we better see a turnaround.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
This is going to be a tough day on the links. I mean, even the seagulls are walking to work. Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. It's the beautiful part of golf. Brand new day, new hole. Remember, he made a bogey here yesterday, this time for birdie. Good job right there. Now making a move and setting himself up for, who knows, a good weekend run, maybe at another title. The former college standout has been excellent today. Frank just continuing to make the game look easy.
This just shortens the whole golf course up when you can hit it that far. Well, with a good shot here, Rich, I'll tell you, this eagle on the cards, hole very reachable from where he is.
Don't get many opportunities like this. This is a good place to take advantage. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up. Settles in over the putt.
Oh, good roll, good putt.
Frank, here at the 6th, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee?
Got to be careful here for the longer hitters, Rich. Driver actually might be too much. That stream that we just saw at the par 5 fifth hole, it also comes across here. So something that lands short of that, which is in the vicinity of 280, 290 yards. That's the key. From there, well, you're not going to have too much more in, sort of 140, 150 yards in. It is a dogleg right, but find that fairway there. Second shot play just a fraction uphill. And this green, well, it's got more humps than hollows in it. It's to be expected, though. This course is absolutely crazy.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Putting all of his talents on display here from the rough, and he knocks it really close. Beautiful shot. These putts keep the round together. Playing beautiful golf. 8 under for the tournament. Well, everybody loves the short par 4, and here we have one, Frank, just 302 yards, the 7th hole.
And this hole is anything other than straightforward, Rich. Huge drop off at the front of this green that is surrounded by water. So it's going to be a layup off the tee, really, to try and get the right yardage. This green is very, it's not very deep, but it's extremely wide. The hardest thing is to try and get a flat lie with whatever club you decide to hit off the tee and get the right yardage. Otherwise, that green actually might be a little elusive, even though this is a very short hole.
Frank, what's the key? You just hit one OB.
Somehow forget what's just happened. Otherwise, the same thing's liable to happen.
So playing the 3rd shot right now after having gone OB. Frank, not close, but from that line, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich. It's that sneaky distance.
Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts.
Rich had the luxury of shots in hand.
Frank, the par 3/8 really is Wolf Creek in a nutshell. It's hard, and it's really pretty.
It is, and it's really long, too. Just under 250 yards off that back tee. Slight bit of elevation, but you can see from the tee, obviously, where you don't want to go and where you do go. If you're a little, well, tender of heart, then aim for the right side and avoid all that water down the left.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole. I don't know what they were looking at.
This hole is playing tough. Bogey here yesterday, now looking at bogey again. Drops into a tie for the lead after that bogey.
You're going to have to shake that off very quickly.
Set to round out the front side here at Wolf Creek with a par 4.
Fun hole for the big hitter, too. They can really take advantage of this. The last fairway bunker down there on the right side is just over 300 yards to get over it. And longer hitters could nearly drive it in the green side bunker on the right. So just tee it up there. You're playing desert golf for a reason. Enjoy it. Just have a little flick in here. A chance, too, to have a little birdie at the end of your front nine.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Steeply up the hill here. This is going to play very long. Just a pure strike and a perfect result. He'll have a good look at birdie now. Bogey here yesterday. Now this for birdie.
That was cruel. That looked like it was certainly going in.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
Another good par.
Now the start of the back nine here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada, or as I like to call it, Mind Blower Golf Club. Frank, everywhere you look, it's just a mind blower. I mean, this one is hard to believe.
Well, this one's also a hard hole. 472 yards off the back tee. The fairway is a little wider than what it looks off the tee because that sort of desert ridge on the right side there, that blocks part of the fairway. So if you can imagine that fairway opens up a bit, then you'll be fine. A good tee shot down here, especially with that elevation there. That should shorten the hole up a little bit. 270 yards gets you past all those bunkers on the left side. They'll take those out of play. And once again, a little bit uphill, and you see that green, it shapes a little bit to the right. So make sure you're aware of where that flag is.
Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Giving up a shot and the lead after that bogey. Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11th here at Wolf Creek.
Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you. And remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around there. A good shot safely on the putting surface here. And this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at, or even at least experience.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right.
Really. This is an awkward length. Inexcusable.
Clean this up with a tap. Frank, that bogey really hurts. Frank, the par 5 12th is another case of a hole where you see that Wolf Creek Golf Club can actually be kind of scary, daunting. I mean, you look out at the desert mountains, and then you add in some water, which we have here on the left, and you can go for some big numbers here if you're not careful.
Well, this is where the Wolf and the Creek can take a bite out of you. You hit it left off the tee, then you're certainly going to start to rack up a number. There's enough fairway down the right, but once again, if you hit a good drive and this hole is reachable for you, then you've got to worry about the water, which is to the right of this green. 5 wouldn't be the worst score you could make around here, that's for sure. I've seen 6s and 7s.
In the heart of the fairway, 180 yards in. This hole really sets up well for the player. Birdie yesterday, and a chance for another one today. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. So early on the backside here at the 12th hole, missed opportunity. This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday. Trying for another one today.
And with that birdie, tied at the top.
13th hole, and Frank, Wolf Creek is really kind of a macho golf course because you can stand on a tee like this and say, you know what? I'm going to take this one over the mountains.
And then, if you do, then you flip the coin. Is it in play? Or is it out of play? This is one hole. You just you realize you're in the middle of the desert, that's for sure. And one hole that you think, well, if I play this hole a couple of times, I might just get the hang of it.
We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Looks like he just misread that. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
Frank, that is an ugly double bogey, and it came at a really bad time.
We've all been there and we've all felt it. It stings.
Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
Well, now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Little redemption chance here, had bogey yesterday. Just didn't read that one quite right. These putts keep the round together. Frank, a solid par right there, maintains his position. Now to the short par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank, just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And, well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down in those bunkers because they're a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, who doesn't go aiming at the flag?
Hoping to get this up and down here, Frank, at the par 3 after missing the green.
Yeah, it's not all bad.
Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation.
And he makes it for par. Now to the 16th hole, and Frank, another good scoring chance.
If you can avoid the confusion off the tee, it looks like the hole might be a dogleg, then is it a carry? It meanders from one way to the other, but really when you actually break the hole down, it's virtually straight ahead. Those two bunkers in the driving distance, they frame the hole nicely, so play it as a straightaway par 4. It should set up beautifully for just a little short iron and perhaps a birdie opportunity. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. In the fairway, it's lying nicely, and 180 yards left. Just an incredible shot. That is a very makeable putt after a great approach. Well played. It's the beautiful part of golf. Brand new day, new hole. Remember, he made a bogey here yesterday, this time for birdie.
It's amazing. Doesn't matter how close it goes. It's an extra shot. That one will definitely hurt.
Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. No problems there.
Yeah, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
Now to the 17th, par 5 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club.
Yeah, dogleg left. Tee shot obviously has to be played short of that creek down there. it's still going to be a reachable hole, even though this hole's sort of around the 550, 560 mark. But because you've got to play short of that stream, it's going to leave a lengthy second shot, and you've got to get the distance right on the button.
I knew it right away. Picked up the tee, didn't even look at it. We can see it. It's perfect, right down the middle of the fairway.
Well, with a good shot here, Rich. This eagle on the cards, hole very reachable from where he is.
Don't get many opportunities like this. This is a good place to take advantage. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Getting set now over the putt. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
So a tester from 4 feet. Maybe a misread right there. Good solid par right there. Finishing hole here at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but you know, that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really, a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 100, 70 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not.
This is a long putt. Really, the key is the speed. If it drops, that's a bonus. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? Looks primed right now.
Anything other than backing up. Very aggressive. That birdie, now in second.
2 rounds in the books, Frank, and a good spot from which to make a move.
Yeah, well positioned. Really, you know, if you're leading, it's a different pressure. Being in the chaser pack there, playing well, what a great position to go into with 2 rounds to go.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present third round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. That's in the fairway. Frankie could make eagle right here with a really good approach shot.
Yeah, well within his reach, too. And, Rich, if we just sit back and relax here, I think we're going to see perhaps a very good look at eagle coming up.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green, but he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Frank, that looked good to me. Frank, amazing how this hole has gotten away.
Yeah, he's not Robinson Crusoe. Happened to everybody that's played this game.
Bit unfortunate, loses a shot here with that bogey. Frank, there's so many impressive holes here at Wolf Creek, but the second really stands out.
Yeah, that tee box is at 9 stories high. It's hard to imagine you can tee up that high, and obviously trying to judge distance is one thing, but also just the visual that you get.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. A bit unfortunate in the bunker, Frank.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what his bunker plays like.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Digs in. Important to have a strong base on these bunker shots. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, it's obvious he is in complete command of his golf ball right now. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time that one gets him in the top 10.
Now on to the third, first of the short holes here at Wolf Creek. Uphill shot, Frank?
Yes, it's going to play a little longer because of that. Then it's 227 yards off the back tee. Hard to imagine you have a par 3 in amongst this desert. And really, that's all it is. Tee and green. There's not much in between. Well protected, as you can see by those bunkers. And this green a little smaller than what you'd like for a hole that's around that 230-yard mark.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
And drops it in. 383-yard fourth hole. Certainly not long, Frank, but there's plenty of trouble out there.
Yeah, this is very much a positional hole. This is not sort of tee it up with a driver and just rip it down. It's just find the fairway. You're going to have virtually just a short wedge, 9-iron really at the most into this green. And really, this is a good chance for a birdie. So 2 good shots, and you shouldn't be too far away.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Safely aboard. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good. Line looked good. Just did not take that final break.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Never a bad score on the card. That's par. How about this hole, Frank? Par 5, fifth.
If you stand on this tee for the first time, you've got virtually no idea where you've got to aim. Do you aim it left of those bunkers? Do you aim it over the sort of the canyon? Really, the answer is how far do you hit it? Because that is going to determine the line that you hit it on. Avoid the water, that little stream, but you can always have a drink on the way if you want to, I guess. Second shot plays uphill, but this is a relatively short par 5, so very reachable. But you can see you've got to flight that second shot. You want to make sure that ball's coming in nice and high to this green that's perched up.
We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Excellent lead for birdie to move to 5 under for the tournament. Here at the 6th, 447-yard par 4. Pretty good hole, Frank.
Yeah, probably a layup hole, too, for the longer hitters. Something out there around the 280, 290-yard mark to make sure you don't go it in the stream. Obviously, it's a dogleg right, as you can see. The canyon on both sides is sort of well-defined, so you know where not to go. Second shot plays a little bit back up the hill to a green, once again, that's anything other than flat. It's fun. You've got to make sure you get that ball on the right tier if you want to have a birdie putt here.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
that birdie has to feel even better, Rich, with everything so tight at the top.
Right in the middle of a Donnybrook at this point. Frank, a very short par 4 here at the 7th, but not one you're going to try to hit off the tee?
No, unless you can fly the ball sort of 300 yards on the nose and stop it within sort of 5 or 6 yards, it's really too risky. This green is not very deep, just sort of 10 or 15 yards in depth. It's just a layup hole, but layup hole it simply doesn't mean grab a club and hit it down the fairway. The best way to play it is to try and hit the ball right on the number. And what I mean by number, I mean the full shot yardage for your second shot, even if that only is a sand eye.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Frank, you've been there. You make that eagle, you jump into a share of the lead.